Okay, so I'm making a swatch of linked double crochet, and I'm doing it the same as regular double crochet. It's 15 stitches across. I'm doing no chain and then yarning over. I use the same hook, same yarn, pull through, then yarn over, pull through. So there's a standing double. I did that on the other one. For linked, I'm going to catch this loop right here, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through, and then I'm going to come down into this next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. So that's what made them linked. So now they're linked there. There's that extra connection. Okay, so I'm going to go into that loop toward the top, not in the V, the loop in front of that. Go in here, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and then yarn over and pull through that loop, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Okay, one more time. I'll go slower. So not in the V, not the front loop, this loop right here. Yarn over, pull through that loop. That gives you your second loop. We don't yarn over. We're going to go into the stitch, grab the yarn, so yarn over, and then yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. So why did I do these swatches? I did these swatches, and I'll finish this swatch so it's the same size. I'm going to see which uses more yarn. I'm using the same yarn, the same hook, trying to keep the same tension, same number of stitches, same number of rows. Although this seems wider, so I don't know if my tension's looser or... Anyway. Yep, I do have the right number of stitches. That's what I was checking. Something I wanted to point out is on the quote-unquote right side here, you can see this extra texture that doing the linked double crochet gives you. You get that line across there. So on the back side, that line is going to be there. So it's going to give you some extra texture, but not really change. You're not really changing the stitch. But I want to know, does it use the same amount of yarn? Does it use less yarn? Does it use more yarn? We're going to find out. I'm going to tag a couple people that I know want to know this answer. Okay, I'm going to pause the film here till I get... Why does that look so strange? I may go back and redo that. Sorry. Oh, you can look at my...
Good time, right?
Oh.
Okay, perfect. I'm sure Camille would want to wear these.
Okay, I mentioned my nails, and my YouTube video about doing these nails started playing. What is happening? Anyway, I'm keeping that in because what the heck. So there you go. There's my new nails. I don't know why this hand is more silvery. Here's the thumbs. Consistently, this whole hand is more silvery. This one's more black. I don't know. But they're little moons. All right. I'll be back. Hi there. I just ended instead of recording. Okay, this is my double crochet swatch, and this is my linked double crochet swatch. You can see they are the same size. It's 15 stitches, 8 rows. But it's funny because when I first, oh my goodness, I've wound them all together. Good times, good times. All right, here we go. When I looked at this at first, this is the linked, I was like, wait, it's smaller. No, it just is denser, but it's truly the same size. Crazy, right? I just find that surprising. And here, look at like how much denser that looks. Versus, when you grab this, you can almost make it look like a mesh, right? All right. But again, not yanking it around. They are the same size. 15 stitches. I did foundation double crochets for their foundation, both of them. Well, I did a foundation linked double crochet. And then I made these tails almost identical. I'll grab the knots. You can see I'm only off by a little tiny bit. So now I'm going to pause, and I'm going to move this background and get down to the whiteboard so that I can put the scale on here. There's those fun nails again. All right, I'll keep showing them off because I love them. Okay, this time I'm going to hit the right button. All right, I'm going to go in grams because this goes to the 100th of a gram, and I think that's going to give us our most accurate. Let's use the big tray. No, let's use the big tray, and so I put that on there, and then I hit the T, which is TAR, T-A-R-E, tear. So it takes that weight out. Okay, so this is the regular double crochet. I'm going to try to get that loop as tiny as possible. So we're only putting in as little extra as possible. So I'm going to write that down. Oops, I forgot to grab a white erase. White erase? No, dry erase. All right. So DC, we'll just let it sit there here. I'm going to hold that. Okay, it keeps changing. 9.08 has been the most consistent. Yeah, we're going with double crochet is 9.08. Okay. Pull this loop down to very small. And this is linked to double crochet. Oh, is that right? Let's do the same thing. I'll keep, oops, the tail wasn't in there. Looks like linked double crochet actually uses less yarn. I'll keep putting it in there and pulling it out. Gotta make sure that tail's in to make it fair. All right. Wait, let me make this loop just the tiniest bit bigger. Okay, one more time. Holding that. 8.58. That's been pretty consistent. We're gonna try. I'm gonna go with the 5/8. I'm gonna put this in again. Make sure this is accurate. If it is, 9.04, 9.06. It's the tail end, yes. The loop's the same size. Oh, lift up the. Now I'm getting 9.06. I'll be kind and do that. But wow, okay. Link double crochet, in theory, uses less yarn. That's fascinating. All right, I'm gonna turn this off and then we're gonna chat about this. All right, I'm gonna go forward facing here. So I need to stop that. Well, let's talk about these numbers first. So this is grams. I did not label my units. Always label your units. So we're talking about a half a gram. No, yes. We're talking about 0.5 of a gram of yarn for 8 rows, 15 stitches with my tension. Same hook. I use this 6mm furls hook. And I think that's a fair, you watched me, I repeatedly weighed them to see. Now this did have a slightly longer tail, so it's possible, like if I cut the tail all the way off, we might get closer, but if I cut the tail all the way off and I cut this tail all the way off, how much difference would that make? It was literally about that much yarn. So, linked double crochet takes less yarn, but looks significantly denser. I did that right? Now I'm questioning myself. Okay, I'm questioning myself. Take it off. Put it on. Press, tear. Okay, linked double crochet. 8.62, 8.60. Tail. 8.61. Oops. I had extra yarn on there. 8.45. 8.53. Oh, lift up the yarn so it's not pulling any weight off of it. 8.53. Okay, I'm just double checking because it seems like more of a significant difference than I was expecting. I was expecting to not maybe even have any difference. This is shocking, truly. 9.04. Okay, so they're slightly closer, but we're still talking about nearly a half a gram. Now it went up to 9.07 because I dropped that. Okay, legitimately surprised. Oh, I forgot to measure for you. Here, I'll measure. I'll show you this. That their measurements are, you saw, quite comparable. I noticed this, and this is fascinating to me because I'd never noticed it before. So this is because I'm not chaining one, and I'm doing a stacked single that makes a double, or a stacked double crochet as the beginning, and somehow it made it wavy. I did it on here, but less severely. So I don't understand why the linked. Oh, it must be because it's pulling it over when you're linking it. So, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the difference, but let's measure. Let's do centimeters. Let's do one row is approximately 13 centimeters by 111 and a half that way. I'll write it down. And let's do this, because it could be that even though they look the same size, there might be a size difference. Let's look. 13. My width is the same. Let's see if the height's different. Yeah, that height is a little more, 12. So even though they looked the same height to me, the same height, because the linked pulls things in a little bit, I have to stretch it to get it to be the same size as that. So this was 13 and 12, right? That's what I said. Let's double check. All right. Yeah, 12 centimeters. And so we're talking about a half a centimeter difference somehow by being pulled in this edge. So what I learned from that is to not get that. I do need to chain one with a linked, which might take away all the yarn that made the difference, but I crocheted them in theory exactly the same. Okay, I'm going to go front facing here. See you in a second. So after doing the swatches, because of how it worked out in the half a centimeter or 5 millimeters shorter in height and the way it pulled in on the sides, even though it looks like the linked double crochet actually uses less yarn, I can't firmly say that. It certainly doesn't use more yarn. That's about as far as I can take the conclusion. But I did want to mention to you all that I'm going to blame Camille for this, at Camille's Creations. I went and got the loops and threads yarn. Now, I don't know if I'll use the 25 millimeter. I might actually go down to a 20 millimeter, which might not seem like a big difference, but it's actually quite a large difference. I might go down to 20 millimeters because this is only a 4-weight yarn, and even though I got two skeins of it, first of all, it's much brighter, right? It's brighter than that other one. I'll grab that here in a sec. It's loops and threads, facets, 100% acrylic, so I can make this for my aunt. I'm just thinking, with it being so much thinner, it just won't have quite the same effect, but I'll still go with a really big hook. I might need to do 70 stitches instead of 60. Ultimately, that doesn't matter as long as you're consistent in each row. But let me grab the other yarn so you can see the Isaac Mizrahi style craft style. West End is the name of that one. I'll tell you more about that yarn when I come back. All right. So this was the Isaac Mizrahi that I was using, and this is the loops and threads facets. So you can see there's a pretty significant difference in width there. Now this is a roving, so it has some thinner spots, but this is pretty consistent. Looking through, like that green, all of that, it's all about the same. It might be slightly roving, but not majorly. The colors are very similar, but you can see there's more earth tones, darker tones. I don't see any gold kind of color in this one, but I'm making this for my aunt. My aunt, I would just try to make her a smaller version with this, except she has the same reaction to wool as I do. Again, I'm not allergic. I can work with it, no problem. I just can't wear it against my skin. So this will be upcoming in the near future, but like I said, I'm probably going to try a 20 millimeter instead. So my answer is I don't know. I don't know if the linked double crochet uses less. It looks like it might. In a large enough project, you probably do save some yarn. Maybe. But at least you know now. I can pretty confidently say you don't use more yarn. So for whatever that's worth. All right. I babbled on enough. I was going to do this finished object. I'll throw it in. Sorry, it's a Friday and it's a long video. This is a washcloth. This is, I don't know if you can see that texture. Now I had to use a smaller hook because I was using this skinny yarn right here. Actually, let's grab that one. This skinny yarn that is labeled DK, but no, that is not DK. 100% cotton. You can see how thin that is. I believe I used I think I used this one, a 4mm, but I used this one, 3.5mm. That's the one I used. Oops, I dropped that. So anyway, this is another entry for the holiday creations because I have a specific friend that has specifically asked me to make small washcloths with texture and with the thin yarn because she actually has a condition where her gripping ability is pretty challenged, so she has to it can't be too big or she can't grip it appropriately. All right, thoughts, but thankfully my phone, well, or maybe we're all disappointed my phone didn't say what my phone says. So anyway, Camille's holiday challenge, go join. Seriously, there's so many things in there. This is hers. This is her design. I think she called it the Nitty Gritty Washcloth. The pattern will be linked below. I'm working on the Boggy Creek, but that's not a finished object. I'm feeling like I kind of maybe need to rush on that, so you might be seeing only that for a little bit. Like if I go live, I mean, I did my nails. I think I've already shown those to you like 4 times in this video. Anyway, I'm a goofball. I don't know what to tell you, and I didn't even tell any stories. And this is a Celestial Seasonings tea shirt. I got it from the plant because it's here about a 45-minute to an hour drive from here. You can go learn how they make the tea and where they source the tea from. So anyway, it's mostly herbal teas, but they do have some with caffeine. And that's a whole interesting background story there too. To get them to have the right to call it herbal tea, which by nature does not contain any tea leaves. So that was a whole thing. And okay, now I'm talking tea content. I'm all over the place. I apologize. I had to do some major cleaning because I couldn't take it anymore over here. So this is my current, and again I've changed to this woof, but I might go back to this here shortly because it's smaller and it's easier to move around. And in my household, as you know, as much as Missy's been hanging around, the secret ingredient is cat hair. So anyway, hope to see you all soon.